What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Monday. We have reached the start of a new week. And we got some basketball to talk about. Lots of stuff happened over the weekend, and a lot of stuff in general is going on in the world of women's basketball. And we are going to get to it starting now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. All right, guys. Again, welcome to another edition of Quita in the Morning. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Quita. We are in the mornings, and we're going to talk about some women's hoops because that's what we do every single day, guys. This is a daily show, Monday through Friday, and every single time, you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the WNBA. In this one, we're not going to talk about college basketball, but in other episodes, we'll talk about college basketball. We'll also talk about Eurobasket. A whole bunch of stuff is going on in the world of women's basketball. And let's get to it because we got a pretty big show for you all. So yes, we will cover the games over the weekend. We absolutely will cover the games over the weekend. But first, I want to talk through something and do a little bit of storytelling. Because one of the things I love about this channel is I love that I have the opportunity to kind of like tell the stories of the game. And we're going to start off with, in my opinion, two fire segments about some history and also about what is currently happening in the league. Okay, so let's get started. And let's get started first talking about Phoenix. So I titled this Who You Hire Matters. Matters because what we have seen from the Phoenix Mercury is kind of amazing. All right? So let's get to it. So when a legend walks away, a franchise has to face the mirror. Right? They got to look in the mirror and be like, okay, what do we want our future to be? And for the Phoenix Mercury, that moment came with the anticipated retirement of the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi gave the Phoenix Mercury... No, wrong graphic. No. I think I deleted the graphic I wanted. Anyway, the GOAT, Diana Taurasi, gave the Phoenix Mercury 20 years of play. 20 years, one jersey, one icon for 2 decades. Taurasi was Phoenix. But now that era is over. And the question that echoed through the valley was, what happens now? What happens now for the Phoenix Mercury? This is a team that still had weapons, right? They still had Kahleah Copper, one of the most electrifying slashers in the WNBA. You had the likes of Natasha Cloud, a very vocal, fantastic defensive-minded point guard that can get your teammates involved and make some stuff happen, right? You had Brittney Griner, a franchise center who wanted to stay on this team, but then moves started to happen. And these moves did not involve Brittney Griner or Natasha Cloud. Let's get into specifically what was going on that front. We actually saw an interview between Ramona Shelburne and Brittney Griner. And Brittney Griner said that, hey, she was doing everything as if she was going to keep a Phoenix Mercury jersey on. But she had a meeting, says, then there was, quote from Brittney Griner, then there was a meeting right before I left to go to Unrivaled, and I found out like, oh, it looks like they want to do something different. This is news to me. I wish they would have known way sooner, but hey, life happens. So as she is heading over to go to Unrivaled, she finds out that, oh, by the way, it looks like Phoenix may be wanting to go in a different direction because that's what happens, right? So let's continue on. Brittney Griner also said, quote, basically, I was told that I don't know what your future holds. After I heard that, it became my decision because I want to be somewhere where they know they want me, where they believe in me and my game. So, just like that, Brittney Griner was done in Phoenix, the place that we all anticipated for her to retire at. She's gone. Done. And she has become a member of the Atlanta Dream. So, if you're Phoenix, you have absolutely signified that you are no longer rebuilding what the gaps that Diana Taurasi left. You're actually completely rebranding yourself entirely. Diana Taurasi's gone, and so is her big woman, the woman who was here for a long time with her, Brittney Griner. So you're rebranding, and oh, did this team rebrand? They started off with a massive 4-team trade, massive trade, where we saw the Phoenix Mercury ship out Natasha Cloud, Sophie Cunningham, Rebecca Allen, and in return, you got Satou Sabally from Dallas. You got Alyssa Thomas from Connecticut. You got Kalani Brown and Sevgi Uzin from Dallas. This was a bold move by GM and head coach from the Phoenix Mercury. Bold move. But this was the start of a total identity shift for this Phoenix Mercury team. And this was just kind of the beginning, guys. Then came a bunch of no names, right? So you have this massive trade where you bring in 2 of your new franchise players, right? And because that takes up a lot of money, because you're paying your big 3 a lot of money, you then have to supplement with other players. Okay? You then have to supplement with other players, and in comes a bunch of no names that nobody was talking about. International signings, overseas veterans, players who had never played in the WNBA before. So basically rookies for this year. You bring in a bunch of no-name players and magic happens. You got Loxa, you got Lexi Held, you got Monica Cole-Makani, you got Catherine Westbell, you got Musa, right? You have some McConnell, you have some good players that you add onto your squad. And just when you think you've done it all, you add in veteran sniper Sami Whitcomb on your team to round it out. So on paper, you are looking at a team that is Satou Sabally, Alyssa Thomas, Kalia Copper. 3 fantastic players, absolutely fantastic players. But then you also have Sami Whitcomb, who, yes, people know. But then the rest of your roster is, who is that person? I'm confused. Who are they? Loxa. I don't know who that person is. Monica Cole-Makani. I've never heard that name before. Who are these people? Well, they are rookies. And on paper, it looked a bit confusing going into the season and wondering, who in the world are these people? However, on the court, we're seeing magic by the Phoenix Mercury. This Phoenix Mercury team is now in 3rd place in the WNBA. 3rd place in the standings, all right? They got a record of 11 wins, 4 losses. They have built the best bench in the league. You want proof of that? Well, they're leading the league in points off the bench with 26.6 points off the bench. Largely courtesy of their rookies. They got Monique Cole-Makani, a fantastic rookie that absolutely needs to be on the all-rookie team. If not, needs to be in serious consideration for a Rookie of the Year. I'm just saying. You got her started, right? This is a team that is tenacious on defense, of course. Of course. When you are looking at a team with Alyssa Thomas on it, you know that they are going to be a fantastic defensive team, and that's exactly what the Connecticut Sun are. That's exactly what they are, all right? And also, you have surrounded Alyssa Thomas with snipers. Snipers, guys. really, really good three-point shooters. Now, are they a bit streaky at times? Absolutely. But when they are on, oh my goodness, you better watch out. Better watch out. This team dropped a franchise record 17 threes over the weekend against the Chicago Sky. You have so many players for Alyssa Thomas to pass the ball to. And to be honest with you guys, this was kind of an issue for Connecticut in the past. Yes, Connecticut did have some three-point shooters last season when Alyssa Thomas was on there. However, there's way more shooters on this Phoenix Mercury team, and I think it will allow the possibility of Phoenix actually making it deep in the playoffs. If not, maybe having a little possible run at the finals, because you have paired up excellent defense with a high octane offensive set run by one of the best passers in the WNBA, point forward Alyssa Thomas. And so when she goes downhill, you have to worry and you have to think about, okay, I'm guarding Alyssa Thomas. I'm going to have people come help on defense. Okay, we're going to collapse in the middle towards Alyssa Thomas to prevent her from getting to the rim and scoring. If you do that, okay, if you're helping playing some help defense onto Alyssa Thomas, okay, well now you got to worry about her throwing the basketball to your man who's going to drain a three-point shot, because you got snipers everywhere. Okay, Alyssa, Whitcomb, Sabally, Akoa Makani, all of these players they can all shoot threes. Kalia Copper, right? And you have her at the front of your team, and it's crazy. And you all want to know the wildest part? The wildest part about the Phoenix Mercury, the reason why I wanted to talk about the Phoenix Mercury is because this team is in third place. They're winning. They're doing all this stuff with a bunch of unknown players before this season. And they've done it largely with Kalia Copper missing more games than she's played. This is not a team that rebuilt and is just trying to survive. No, this is a team that is thriving. This is a team that plays unselfish basketball. One night it's Satou Sabally dominating. Then it's Laksa. Then it's Akoa Makani. And always it is Alyssa Thomas. Everyone contributes. Everyone buys in. And that right there is the mark of something bigger than talent. That is culture. Culture. That is what happens when scouting, coaching, and belief all collide together. That's what happens. It is the Phoenix Mercury. And after years, after a off season of transition and sadness from the GOAT retiring, the Mercury are reborn. They're reborn with a new identity. There is no Diana Taurasi, no DT. There is no BG. But there is a new culture, a new identity, a new core three. And just maybe this 3 and more is going to lead them to a new shot of Mercury greatness. All right, guys, that is my little spiel. That's my little spiel about the Phoenix Mercury. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about the Phoenix Mercury this year? Have y'all been watching this team? I've been wanting to make a segment about the Phoenix Mercury for a long time, or not a long time, for like at least 2 weeks now, because we are seeing something special. And also, Kalani Brown is a huge asset for this Phoenix Mercury team. I really like Kalani on this team. I think that Nick Urin, I believe that's the name of the general manager for the Phoenix Mercury. I think he has done a fantastic job. General managers matter. They matter. They're important. And you can have a situation where you have your best players taking up a lot of the cap space, and you need to fill out the rest of your roster with other players who are not a strain on your cap space, meaning rookies, right? You got to bring in some rookies into your team to make some stuff happen. And the Phoenix Mercury, they didn't go for traditional rookies. They went for rookies that are older, that have played overseas, that have made some stuff happen, and are looking to make some stuff happen in the WNBA. And guys, I gotta say, it's not just about picking the cheapest. It's not just about picking the cheapest contracts. That's not all the GM does. It's about picking the right contracts with the right players at the right time, and that is exactly what the Phoenix Mercury have done. Exactly. And if you want a example of why names don't totally matter, look at the Phoenix Mercury. Look at their bench. And name me players that you actually recognize. Name me players that has been in the league before. They got 6 rookies, guys. 6 on this team. I'm telling you, it is something special that the Phoenix Mercury are doing, and I had to talk about it because it's just fun to see. You guys got any thoughts about the Phoenix Mercury? Dion says AT has a lot of help. She has a lot of shooters, and if you pair a player like Alyssa Thomas with shooters, you kind of, it's kind of interesting. Ariel says it boils down to the GM. You have to know and scout the players. Some GMs don't know what they're doing. Some GMs know what they're doing. Others don't. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hey, I am says, I love Kalani on the Mercury too. Yeah, I think this is a great fit for her. I really do. I really, really do. Dominique says AT is the real MVP. I will say this. A couple of years ago, when I believe it was when Brianna Stewart won the MVP, the last time she won the MVP, in my opinion, the MVP should have gone to Alyssa Thomas. And honestly, when Alyssa Thomas got snubbed for the MVP several years ago, again, I believe it was when Brianna Stewart won. Anyway, when she got snubbed, that's when I started really being a huge advocate for Alyssa Thomas. Because before then, we all know how great Alyssa Thomas is. And, I don't like her because she beats my team and all this other stuff. But I recognize how great of a player she is. But when she got snubbed, it was very, very clear that Alyssa Thomas does not get the respect that she deserves because of the style of play she does, because she doesn't score a ton of points, and because she played in Connecticut. She just was not that. She was not acknowledged for her talent, and ever since she got snubbed, I have been like this huge advocate. Every single time I get to talk about Alyssa Thomas, I got to talk about it because what I don't understand how somebody can be so impactful for her team. Again, if you're just looking at the stats, you may say, you know what? AT is not that great. Sure, she's a great passer. Sure, she can rebound in basketball, but she's not that great. But if you watch the games, and actually watch her move on the court and watch how impactful she is and how big of a player she is, she should have won the MVP a couple of years ago. And I actually think it's kind of messed up that it is in some ways also a popularity contest. Now, was Brianna Stewart that year fantastic as well? Yes. But in my opinion, the best player in the WNBA was Alyssa Thomas. It was. And this year, at the top of the list, you know, it is Nafisa Collier, in my opinion, at the top of the list for MVP. But like in that top 3, that top 4 is Alyssa Thomas. Once again. Now she's on a different team. Now maybe she'll get more attention. We'll see. But yeah. Allie says, watch her on the sideline. She coaches. Yeah, I mean, Alyssa Thomas is I think she will be a coach, actually, when she retires. She just has a great basketball mind. Great basketball mind. Dominique says, Tamika Catchings and Alyssa Thomas are the same players, 2 Bulls and a China shop that can lead their teams. And Tamika Catchings is another player that did not get the type of respect that she should have gotten. And maybe we'll do a different segment specifically about Tamika Catchings because, yeah, she was another player that was balling. I will say that they're similar in terms of the impact that they have made on their team, but like I think Alyssa Thomas is like significantly more physical than Tamika Catchings was. But yeah. Anyway, that is the segment. Also, guys, if y'all are appreciating the commentary and segment on something that I guarantee you no one else is really talking about, well, subscribe to the channel. It's my job to not just give y'all literally just here's what happened yesterday and that's it. I also got to give context. I also got to give some backstory. I also want to do some storytelling as well. And I hope that you all are appreciating that. And if you are, please make sure to hit that like button. Okay. All right. Again, guys, we are going to get to the games of the weekend in just a sec. But first, I do have another segment I want to go through. All right. So here's the deal, guys. June 21st. This is a day that holds a lot more weight than most people realize. Now, June 21st happened over the weekend. Because I wasn't live over the weekend, I'm doing this segment today. Okay? June 21st. On June 21st, 1788, the U.S. Constitution went into effect after New Hampshire became the 9th state to ratify it. And the American experiment took a new form. Fast forward over a century to June the 21st, 1893. The first Ferris wheel opens up to the public at the World's Fair in Chicago. A marvel to behold, and a marvel that still continues in Chicago to this day, right? The Ferris wheel is still one of the most popular places to visit. The Ferris wheel on Navy Pier is one of the most popular places to visit in Chicago. And it symboled a lot in terms of possibility and the marvel of engineering and all that stuff. And then we fast forward to June 21st, 1997. The day that women's basketball launched full force into primetime. The day that the WNBA was born. The day that the WNBA had their first game. The New York Liberty versus the LA Sparks. This was a matchup that wasn't just a game. In a lot of ways, this was a statement, a test, a spark of something the sports world was not totally ready for. And the questions around the WNBA was very loud. Very, very loud questions. There were doubts and expectations, right? There were people wondering, will people actually watch women's basketball? Is women's basketball actually an interesting thing? Would fans actually show up? Would they actually care? Would this league suffer the same fate as other failed attempts at a professional women's basketball league? Will the NBA continue to support? Questions galore for the WNBA in front of their first game ever. And to those doubts that people had, well, Rebecca Lobo, who played for the New York Liberty in the inaugural game? Well, before that game tipped off, Rebecca Lobo had one thing to say. She said, people can say whatever they want at this point, but they should turn on the game and make their judgments. She was like, hey, watch it. Watch the game and see for yourselves. She had confidence in what the league could do. And I got to tell you, people listened to Rebecca Lobo and they watched. They watched. In droves, guys, they watched. The league expected around 7,500 fans to fill the seats in LA for this game. Instead, we saw 14,000 people in attendance. Over 14,000 people in attendance. All right, expecting 7,500, you got 14,000. Okay? And at home, according to the lead at home, over 5 million people tuned in to watch this game. First game ever of the WNBA. Because people wanted to see the marvel of women's basketball backed by the NBA. This game was not just watched, it was welcomed into people's homes, and people enjoyed it. Not everybody, but a good amount of people enjoyed it. And the great thing about the WNBA that season in 1997 is that it wasn't a one-night phenomenon. This was the beginning of something real. In the WNBA's first season, the WNBA shattered their own projections. Shattered their own projections, guys. League president Val Ackerman initially estimated an average of 14,000 fans in attendance over the season. She was saying, okay, 14,000 fans on average will attend these games. We have 8 inaugural teams, and, at their home games, we're going to average 4,000. Okay? That's what she was projecting. Coming into the season, she was like, okay, success would be 4,000 fans in attendance every night. And just weeks into the 10-week season, that number was bumped up to 6,500. So she was like, oh, well, we're seeing people show up. Oh, they're actually showing up in droves. Okay. 4,000 is out the window. 6,500 is the new goal. 6,500 fans per night at WNBA games. Okay? By the end of the season, guys, the league was averaging nearly 10,000 fans per night. 10,000 fans. It was huge, huge to see, with the biggest numbers going in Phoenix, with the Phoenix Mercury, the New York Liberty, and the Houston Comets. These were not just teams, guys. This was the creation of WNBA hubs. And fittingly, in Houston, the WNBA season ended that year in 1997. It ended the way that dynasties began. The Houston Comets, led by Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops, captured the inaugural WNBA championship in front of a sellout 16,751 fans. And better yet, more than 165 countries were able to watch it all go down in the championship game. After that game, league president Val Ackerman said that the last few months have proven without a doubt that the time and place are here and now. It's been a dream season for us at the WNBA. She also continued to say, we underestimated the response. It was clear there was an audience in waiting. Our first season exceeded every expectation. That was in 1997. All right. Now we fast forward more than 25 years later. The WNBA is still here. Yes, the league has weathered through some tough seasons, declining attendance, team retractions, growing pains, severe growing pains in the league, right? So it hasn't all been straight up since 1997. We did see a bit of turbulence in the WNBA. Actually, not a bit, a lot of turbulence in the WNBA. But we have also seen expansion, evolution, and in the past 3, maybe 4 years, we have seen a surge. Viewership is up. Ratings are climbing. New fans, new stars, and a new era of women's basketball spotlight is here. But while we acknowledge and love the current success, while we love it, and while we celebrate the likes of Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, while we celebrate all that stuff and we acknowledge the fantastic players that are in the league right now, none of this happens. None of this happens without June 21st, 1997. A date that is more than a footnote. It is the foundation of the WNBA. Or, in actuality, the foundation of women's basketball, creating the biggest foothold in America. It was the moment when history turned the mic towards women's basketball and said, go ahead, show us what you got. And the league did, and we reap the benefits now. Guys, I wanted to talk about this, one, because we just passed June 21st, and I had to talk about the fact that we have, we've seen the WNBA grow over the years, and we've seen some great stuff happen in the WNBA. We have recently, right? You all just saw the recent numbers for the Fever and the Liberty game. Right? We see all that stuff. But it is important for us to acknowledge and remember what happened before. Acknowledge and remember the fact that David Stern, who was in charge of the NBA, said, you know what? I want to create a women's NBA. I want to create that. And he did. And look at what we see now. Right? The NBA originally owned the WNBA in terms of the league sort of owning all the teams. And then eventually they made it possible where independent owners could have teams and we see how things have changed, right? It's kind of fantastic to see. Yes, the WNBA has had a lot of hard times, a lot of teams that no longer existed, right? The Portland Fire, who may be coming back with their name, Portland Fire. You got the Miami Soul, right? You got the Detroit Shock. You have a lot of teams that Charlotte Sting, a lot of teams that existed in the past that no longer exist in their current name, I should say. But you got to acknowledge that, like, we don't get where we are at right now without the people who existed before, who did their job, who made stuff happen before. All right? And so on this channel, yeah, we're gonna talk about what's currently happening in the WNBA, but at the same time, we got to talk about the history. We got to talk about what happened before, to truly appreciate what happens now. All right? Okay. Just want to see what y'all think about that segment, and then we will move on to the games that happened over the weekend. Okay. All right. Any comments you all have? Quinta says, thanks to the NBA. Yep, absolutely. Like, the WNBA does not exist if it wasn't for the NBA. It doesn't. All right? It doesn't exist. So absolutely, you gotta appreciate the WNBA or the NBA for that. Ford Journer says, thanks for paying homage. Hey, that's what I got to do on this channel. That's what I got to do, right? I got to do it because someone needs to. Someone needs to talk about not just current, but what happened in the past as well. Somebody has to. And so I will be that somebody. And also because literally, I was watching the WNBA. Now, I did not. For the record, I did not watch this inaugural game. I did not. I was still very young. And so even if I did watch it, I have zero memory of it because I was a baby, basically. But as the WNBA continued on, I started watching in the early 2000s, and I got hooked, and I never left. And so why, I gotta talk about it. I have to talk about it. Nick the Nerd says the ABL brought me to women's basketball before the WNBA. That's how I was able to watch Dawn on TV. Fantastic. Like, yeah. Yep. The ABL is a thing. Neefy says, I found found a comment you made 16 years ago, by the way. I mean, yeah, here's the thing, y'all. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've had this account, this YouTube account since Chocolate Rain was a thing on YouTube, okay? Like, even before that. Like, so while I've just started in the last couple of years making content about women's basketball, I've been a women's basketball watcher and supporter for a long time. So y'all will occasionally watch videos that the WNBA put up decades ago, right? Or that other teams put up decades ago, and you will see Quita Loves Sports with a random comment. Because this has been my channel for a long time. And I've been rocking with the WNBA for a long time, even though I recently got the confidence to actually start live streaming and actually making videos. All right. All right. Okay. Nancy says, love thinking back to the beginning. Penny Taylor, who made her career both on the Australian national team as well as the Phoenix Mercury. Michelle T. I'm blanking on exactly who that Michelle T is. When I think of Michelle in the WNBA, I think of Michelle Snow. Trying to think of who Michelle T is. But and says, and the next year when Yo came to Sacramento, I assume you mean Yolanda Griffith. And yeah, I was a fan of Yolanda Griffith for sure. Quintus says, I'm glad you're that somebody. I love your channel. I appreciate it. W. Bazil says, Quita, you didn't watch the inaugural game. You have zero cachet with me. I mean, it's possible that I did, but if I did, I don't remember at all because I was too young to really remember anything. So I don't think I did though. But if I did, yeah. Okay. C-Dub says, I watched my first game, New York versus LA. Oh, in 1997? Shamika says, Chocolate Rain customer. Y'all don't remember Chocolate Rain? Yeah, y'all don't remember that? There was a guy on YouTube who made a video, Chocolate Rain, and then he would go away from the mic, and then dun 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 Chocolate Rain, and he would go. Y'all don't remember that? Like that was, to me, that's like was that before MKBHD already started making videos? Maybe, I can't remember. Anyway, that was the old school YouTube. I think before it was purchased by Google. When YouTube was amazing. At that time, YouTube was primarily slideshows with music underneath it. And Chocolate Rain. And Chocolate Rain, okay? Wow. Y'all, can we give a shout out to Tisha? Tisha says, I watched the entire first 4 years without missing a game. Whoa. Man, dog, that is cool. That is very, very, very cool. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. All right. Very, very, very cool. I gotta say. Eric says, I can't believe we haven't acknowledged the 2005 champs in this segment. Well, if you all are wondering, who in the world were the 2005 champs? Wasn't it the Sacramento Monarchs? I think it was the Sacramento Monarchs. I'm fairly certain they won in 2005. And yeah, we're talking about them. And, fun fact, they beat the Connecticut Sun to win the championship in 2005. Yeah, on that team, Yolanda Griffith was fan-freaking-tastic, okay? I'm just saying, right? Yeah, this was like peak WNBA. Or not peak WNBA, but this was like really when like tough play was fun to watch, man. It was very, very, very fun to watch. Again, we got the Sacramento Monarchs who, I believe won in 2005. So now we're talking about them. Okay? We're talking about them. But yeah, I was a big, big, big fan of Sacramento. Like, it was Yolanda Griffith, it was Tisha Penicheiro, it was darn it. They had somebody else on their team that I really liked. I can't remember. Yeah, they had somebody else who I really, 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 really liked on their team. Yeah, I can't remember. I cannot remember. Yeah, anyway. All right. Polo says, Quita, your mom probably watched the game in 1997, so it's safe to say you watched it with her. I don't know. I gotta ask my parents. I don't know. At the time, I would say my dad was way bigger on basketball at the time than my mom was. But yeah. I gotta ask him because I have zero memory of watching the inaugural game. It's possible, but I just don't remember. I don't remember. Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on. And actually, I would like to talk about the WNBA games that happened over the weekend. Okay? I want to talk about the games over the weekend because, why did I have my cell phone on her twice? How long has that been like that? No one told me I had two versions of myself in the bottom. Man, I just noticed it. So hopefully that hasn't been like that way the whole stream, because that'd be kind of embarrassing. Embarrassing, as my dad says. Embarrassing. All right, guys. All right. Well, here's the thing, guys. We got to talk about the games that happened over the weekend, the games that were, because there was some great games over the weekend that we saw from the WNBA. And I want to go through them real quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about these games because I spent a lot of time talking about those other two segments. But we're gonna get into what happened over the weekend. All right. And here we go. All right, we got the screen up. And let's talk about the games. Let's talk about the games that happened. Let me get in the center. There we go. All right. So on I didn't get a chance to make the pre-produced graphics of it, so I'm just gonna have the WNBA website up, and we're just gonna talk through these games that happened real quick. So first up, we saw the Atlanta Dream narrowly take down the Washington Mystics. The final score of that game was 92 Atlanta, 91 DC. And I gotta say, guys, The Mystics continue to be a fun team to watch. Now, are they a little bit not consistent? Yes. Right? Yes. There are some games where Shakira Austin really shows up to play and she is looking fantastic. And there are some games where she is not looking fantastic. But in that game against Atlanta, y'all, Shakira Austin and Sonia Citron was absolutely doing their thing. Shakira Austin had a double-double in this one, 28 points, 10 rebounds. And Sonia Citron had like 17 points. Like, she was very, very, very good. But ultimately, the Washington Mystics just couldn't finish out the game, couldn't close it out. Again, they barely lose in this one, with Alicia Gray leading the charge for this Atlanta Dream team. You had Gray, you had Brianna Jones, Brittney Griner, Jordan Canada, and Ryan Howard, all scoring in double figures. All five of those players are in the starting lineup, and the bench. Yeah, they gave some good minutes. I always like Nas Hillman when she comes in the game. She always brings an impact as well. Nia Coffey did well in this one, and this was the start of Tahina Pau just continuing to make a name for herself over the weekend. We'll talk more about Tahina in just a sec, but yeah, overall, good game by both teams, but ultimately one team had to win, and it was the Atlanta Dream who just eked out the dub. Also, guys, we saw the Dallas Wings take down the Connecticut Sun. And fun fact, guys, Paige Beckers is undefeated at Mohegan Sun Arena. Undefeated, never lost. In my LeVar Ball voice, never lost. Paige Beckers goes back to UConn, goes back to Connecticut and ends up getting the dub in this one. Again, she is at Mohegan Sun Arena. This is a place that she's played at a lot, a whole lot in Connecticut, right? She's played a lot in Uncasville, and a lot of her fans were out there supporting, and she didn't have as huge of a night that she had the last time she was at Mohegan Sun Arena when she had, didn't she have like 30-something points or whatever? Anyway, she didn't go crazy like that, but Paige Beckers did have 21 big ones in this one, 21 points, 7 assists in that game against Connecticut, where it went down to the wire, but it was just that Connecticut didn't know how to close it out, and they ended up losing by 3 points, where Paige Beckers and Isaiah James showed up and showed out in that game. It was fun to see Paige go home to Connecticut, and also Isaiah and Sanaya go against each other as competitors instead of teammates. If you all remember, both Isaiah James and Sanaya Rivers were the two stars at NC State. And it was kind of cool to see them interact with each other before the game and whatnot. I saw some videos about it. I wanted to put it in the stream today, but I didn't have enough time. But anyway, that was pretty cool to see. Ultimately, Tina Charles did ball out in this game, but it just wasn't enough as the Dallas Wings got the dub. We also saw the Seattle Storm take down the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces are just, they're still trying to figure stuff out, and they ultimately did end up figuring stuff out on yesterday, Sunday. But to lead up to that, we did see them lose to the Seattle Storm, where Nneka Ogwumike is continuing to play beast mode. I'm telling you, Nneka Ogwumike, it's like she has been reinvigorated this year. It could probably be because of like the players that are around her, but like she is having a fantastic season, guys. I'm just saying, fantastic season for Nneka Ogwumike. All right, let's move on to Saturday, where the Phoenix Mercury, as I said earlier, dropped 17 threes against the Chicago Sky, made a WNBA made a franchise record in terms of threes made in a game. And from a Sky fan perspective, sure, that wasn't good to see. That wasn't good to see at all. But from a sheer basketball perspective, Guys, I gotta say, it was very fun watching the Phoenix Mercury play. The Phoenix Mercury is such a well-oiled machine. I just love it. I absolutely love it. This is what happens when, again, good general manager makes some good decisions in the offseason that don't totally make a lot of sense. But on the court, it makes the most sense in the world. We saw a very, very, very balanced Phoenix Mercury in that game where everybody was kind of cooking and making some noise, right? Whether it was Maddie Westbell knocking down a three, whether it was Kalia Copper making some threes, whether it was Monica Cole-McConney, who I just love saying her name. Her name is so great. Who knocked down 2 threes, right? Whether it was Sami Whitcomb, who went off, guys. It was like Sami Whitcomb could not miss. Loxa, same thing. Like this team, this Phoenix Mercury team looked amazing. So yes, from a Sky perspective, a Sky fan perspective, sure. Did I dislike the performance that the Sky made? Absolutely. They played like trash. However, and their starters were benched. However, this Phoenix Mercury team is fantastic. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And even when you have all bench players plus Alyssa Thomas, you're still cooking. Even when you got all bench players plus Satou Sabally, you're still cooking. Like, it is fantastic to see this Phoenix Mercury team just rock and roll. And again, questions abound for the Chicago Sky. They looked like trash. The bench got put in early because the starters looked like trash. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay? Okay. Let's continue on. Let's talk about the Minnesota Lynx, who got the job done and easily took down the LA Sparks. This one was 82-66. Now, in this game, the better team won. And the better team is the Minnesota Lynx. We end up seeing Kayla McBride go off from 3. 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. She ultimately finished with 29 points. Right, this is a game that the Minnesota Lynx played without their star player, without Nafisa Collier. She was not playing in that game against the Sparks, but it didn't matter. Didn't matter because you got Kayla McBride and you got Courtney Williams that's going to show up and show out for your team, and that's exactly what both of those players did. Courtney had 18 points in that game. Okay. Let's continue on, guys. Talk about Sunday, where we had several games on at the same time. I was literally watching 3 games at the same time. That was a lot. That was a whole lot to do. But I did it. I did it. Okay. First up, let's talk about the Sky versus the Dream, which was a closer game than I was expecting. I did see a lot more fight for the Chicago Sky. Angel, 19 rebounds for her. And before y'all be like, oh, they were just because she missed the shot. 17 of those 19 rebounds were defensive rebounds, okay? All right. 10 points for her, 19 points, 4 assists. Again, it could have been more if some of her teammates make some shots, but it is what it is. We saw Ariel Atkins go into more of the retro version of Ariel Atkins, meaning the Ariel Atkins from last year with the Washington Mystics. And so that was good to see from her, to see her be very intentional about trying to score early. She had 29 points in this game. And really, the reason why the Chicago Sky loses because we have a balance of talent for this Atlanta Dream team, right? Because when you talk about Atlanta, you got to pick your poison. Because Ryan Howard can get to her spots and she can make some shots, right? 22 points for Ryan Howard in yesterday's game, right? And if she wasn't doing it, well, Alysha Gray was knocking down 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. 5 3-pointers for Alysha Gray. She finished with 19 points. The thing I love about, and also, I didn't even get to the best part. Best part about the Atlanta Dream is their bench, okay? In that game, Naz Hillman comes to the game, instant impact. Tina Pow comes to the game, instant impact. That's the difference, guys. That's the difference. The difference with the Atlanta Dream is that they can have a player like a Tahina Pow come off the bench, knock down, count them, 5. 5 threes in that game. 5. I'm just saying, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Right? So sure, does the Chicago Sky take care of the basketball? Yes, they do, actually. They only had 9 turnovers in yesterday's game, and which don't quote me on this, but I believe that's the lowest they've had all year. I believe that's the lowest they've had. Only 9 turnovers for the Chicago Sky, and they still lose because where do you go for points? Yeah, Will was knocking down some shots yesterday. She absolutely was. She had 16 points. But who else besides Ariel Atkins and Elizabeth Williams gave you points? Right? Angel 10, Camilla 10. You need more from those players, right? Rebecca Allen, only 4. I'm sorry, 10 for Angel and Rachel Banham. Camilla had 7. Right? You need more from your post players. You need more. Okay? And the difference with Atlanta is, yes, you had Ryan and Alicia who went off. Yeah, you had Brianna Jones who's making stuff happen in the post. But you also had Naz Hillman, who continues to be impressive off the bench for the Atlanta Dream, and Tahina Pow, the Rook, who knocked down 5 huge 3-pointers and finished with 16 points. That's the difference. Carl Semesco has a ton of players that he can just kind of bring in and see what they can do, right? He has lots of players who can knock down the 3. Here's the thing, guys. The Atlanta Dream made 15 threes yesterday. 15. You want to know how many 3-pointer? They made 15 threes. Made threes, okay? Do you want to know how many threes the Sky attempted? 15. They made 4. The difference in yesterday's game for the Sky, a surprising difference, is usually it's the turnovers that kill them. Yesterday, the turnovers did not kill them. It was their inability to defend on the perimeter. That continues to be an issue for this team, and it will, be an issue for the rest of the season, I would anticipate. Okay? Let's continue on. We got the Wings versus the Mystics, where this was a back and forth battle. We saw Paige Beckers get the game into overtime with a big time, a 3? Big time 3 in at the end of regulation to get it to overtime. And then in overtime, it was pretty stagnant in terms of no one it was kind of stagnant in general until Sonia Citron drains a big time 3-point shot and boom, the DC squad wins. Washington Mystics get another dub, hard-fought dub, down to the wire dub against the Dallas Wings. And I gotta say, that was a very, very fun game. Unfortunately, guys, I was doing a live stream, but for some reason my laptop just shut down during the live stream, and so I wasn't able to actually do a play-by-play of the last couple of minutes, last couple of regulation minutes, as well as overtime for that game. But I tell you, it was very, very, very fun. In that one, we saw Arike Gumbawale, do some of her patented crazy shots. Here's the thing. The thing I like about Arike is the type of player who will miss a layup, get the ball back on that same possession, and go for a 3-point shot and make it. She misses the 2 to get the 3 in the same possession. That is very much Arike. That is very much Arike, which I thought was hilarious. I don't have the clip, but it was very funny. But Arike, 27 points for her, 20 points for Paige Beckers in this one. And I mean, with the Washington Mystics, we saw Sonia Citron continue to show us why she is one of the top dogs when it comes to these rookies. These rookies are special. There is something different about these rookies, and I'm going to do a special just all about the rookies because I got an argument that may be controversial. This is probably the deepest rookie class ever. Not ever. In a long time in the WNBA. In a long time. Not as like the ceiling is pretty high for this team for this this whole rookie class. I think, yeah, sure, there's some busts in there. However, there are some really good players, including non-traditional rookies as well. Again, 27 points for Sonia Citron. She had a double-double in this one. When her number was called, she showed up every single time. And you got to love it. You got to love it. Also, fun fact, guys. Fun fact, we did see Kim Mulkey in the building for that game, which was pretty fun. She may be there for an AAU tournament or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was cool to see Kim Mulkey in attendance, sitting front row. Kiki Ira Finn also did her thing in this game as well. 6 assists. I always got to shout out the post players. When the post players got a lot of assists, I got to talk about them, okay? 6 assists for Kiki Ira Finn. Talking about that facilitator, that's pretty cool to see. 19 points for her as well, 7 rebounds for the rookie. And Shakira Austin continues to do her thing as well. I got to say, guys, I really do think that Aaliyah Edwards needs to get traded. Controversial take. Maybe I'll go through it more in the future, but controversial take for right now. If y'all want to hear more about it, let me know in the comments if y'all want an actual segment about it. But yeah, seriously, I think she needs to get traded. I think she needs to get traded. That's a lot of talent just sitting on your bench. I'm just saying, a lot of talent that other teams will want. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Okay. We also saw the Indiana Fever lose to the Las Vegas Aces. And in that game, hey, it was a tale of two halves, right? In the first half, it was very clear that Indiana, hey, it like they was about to have a game. Like they were about to get the dub, and that was about to be it. That was about to be all she wrote. A'ja Wilson couldn't hit anything. Guys, I gotta tell you. A'ja Wilson, she ended up apologizing after the game was over, but like, here's the thing. That was one of the worst halves I saw of A'ja Wilson in a long time. Like, she couldn't hit anything. She couldn't hit anything really in that first half. I didn't understand what was going on, because she was getting to her spots. And you can't say, oh, she was fouled and whatnot, because in that first half, I thought there was some pretty good defense played against her. Like I didn't think she was taking bad attempts or getting fouled and those fouls not be called. I think it was just truly her just missing. She was just off in that first half. That entire first half, she was off. Second half, well, all you gotta do is start getting your legs under you, and that's what she started to do in that second quarter, or third quarter, I should say. And A'ja just started knocking down shots. Started getting to the free throw line, and ultimately she was able to lead her team to victory. Final score, 89-81. A'ja has a terrible first half, and the second half gets it back together. 24 points for her. Jackie Young was huge in this game. Also, Chelsea Gray was huge in this game as well. Both of them 19 and 18 apiece. And I got to say, Aaliyah Nye, fantastic job, Ricky. Fantastic job. I'm talking about her having the confidence to just dribble down and pull up from three. Hey, the confidence of that rookie was a sight to behold. 11 points for Aaliyah Nye. And I tell you, if we can continue to see, Aaliyah Nye make a big impact for this team, I think it's good news. I think it's good news for the Las Vegas Aces. Now for the Indiana Fever, not great. Not great, right? Not great, right? Here's the thing. It seemed like now I did not listen to the post game presser, so I don't know exactly if this is what Becky Hammon wanted to do. However, it seemed like the strategy was allow Aaliyah to cook, and that's fine. play defense, play tough defense without fouling against Caitlin Clark. And if she wants to keep dumping it down to Aaliyah Boston, who cares? It seemed like that was a strategy because Aaliyah Boston cooked, right? Aaliyah Boston was doing her thing in that game. She was MVP of the Fever was Aaliyah Boston yesterday. She was. Huge impact, right? 26 points for her, double-double, 10 rebounds. She was doing her thing. Absolutely was. But, the strategy, in my opinion, based off of my observation of the game, strategy was like, hey, let her cook. Sure. Let Kelsey Mitchell cook as well. You know, she had 20 points. However, don't let Caitlin go off. And as a result, Caitlin didn't totally go off. Right? Now, of course, she got 19 points. So, of course, she's going to score something. 1 of 10 from the 3, though. 7 of 20 from the field overall. Right? So, of course, she's going to score some points. She has 19 in that game. 10 assists. So, of course, she's going to pass the ball. And largely, a lot of those passes were to Aaliyah Boston. But Caitlin Clark turned over the basketball left and right. Here's the deal. I made a video, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, talking about Caitlin Clark's triple-double. When she had 10-plus points, she had 10-plus assists, and she had 10-plus turnovers. And I was saying that the turnover issue for Caitlin is a huge problem. And it's going to eventually cost the Indiana Fever games. 8 turnovers for Caitlin alone in that game, including some costly turnovers in the second half. That's the ball game right there. It's not a big deal if Caitlin has an off shooting night. Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. And you know she's going to pass the basketball and get some assists. But the killer that I think she admits as well is the fact that you cannot have so many turnovers, costly, and in some cases, basically back-to-back turnovers. Now, sure, some people love to give the excuse of, oh, you know, it's her teammates' fault. It's her teammates' fault that she has turnovers and whatnot. No, this is on her. This is on her. Largely. Now, and this is not me hating on her. This is me looking at the game, peeping game, and talking about it. You cannot have that many turnovers as the main person with the basketball. Okay? You can't do that. Now, was she the only person turning over the basketball? No. Natasha Howard had 4, right? Kelsey Mitchell and Sydney Colson had a couple. But it starts and ends with your point guard. And that is Caitlin Clark. She got to work on that. She has to take care of the basketball. She has to for a team to have a chance. She has to. And if the Valkyries and the Aces have shown the rest of the league anything, is, hey, pressure Caitlin. Pressure her. And you know exactly the shot she wants to take. You know that type of 3 that she wants to take. You know it. And you know she doesn't really have a mid-range. So guard that 3-point line hard. Okay? Guard that 3-point line hard and allow other people to beat you. And the gamble worked. Yeah, Aaliyah Boston cooked, but it didn't matter. Her team got the L. Okay? All right, and then we also had the New York Liberty, who lost to the Seattle Storm again. The New York Liberty are a team that they got some players out. Sabrina Ionescu did not play in yesterday's game. She does have a neck injury, so she was out Also, Jonquel Jones was out as well. So you had three starters who were out. And so you had to have Maureen Johannes start. You had to have Rebecca Allen start, right? Niara Sabally started. And at the end of the day, we saw the New York Liberty lose, right? We saw them lose, and we saw them not be able to take care of the basketball, right? Brandon Stewart, 5 turnovers. Sasha Cloud, 6 turnovers. Maureen Johannes, 4 turnovers. Right? Like that, not great. Not great against a team like a Seattle Storm that continues to have Nneka Ogwumike play at the top of her game. I'm just saying. Nneka Ogwumike is playing fantastic. Like, she really is. I think we saw Skylar talk about it at the end of the game, talk about just how great Nneka is, because she's been cooking, right? She's been cooking, and you got Gabby Williams, who's like the one of the greatest two-way players so far this year. Like, she is, yeah, she's scoring and whatnot, but also defensively, she's doing great. And also, yesterday, double-double for Gabby Williams. Not in rebounds, in assists. 12 points, 10 assists for Gabby Williams. It's always cool to see. And, of course, Skylar's going to be Skylar. 20 points, 6 rebounds for her. Erica Wheeler has a quieter game. Only 9 points for her. But man, Seattle wants to win. They are hungry, and they're like, okay, y'all don't have 3 of your starters. Okay, we gonna get this. We gonna get the stuff. And they did. They did get the dub. And then finally, we had the Golden State Valkyries, who cooked the Connecticut Sun. Fun things to talk about. A couple of fun things to talk about, guys, in this game. We saw the season debut of Caitlin Chen, who got the most out of her rookie debut, because Caitlin Chen finished with 5 points, 2 of 3 from the field. She got her full WNBA experience by getting her first technical. In her first game ever, she got a tech. And I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm just saying. I thought it was pretty funny, the fact that Caitlin Chen got a tech. She ended up hit somebody in the face, I believe. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, shout out to Caitlin Chen for getting her first minutes as a WNBA player. That was fun to see. She played 21 minutes, and literally, guys, every single time Caitlin Chen checked into the game, it felt like the whole crowd was just like, Caitlin, we love you. Like, truly, like, man, did y'all hear the crowd? The crowd went up when Caitlin Chen came in the game. Every time she checked in, the fanfare was wild. Okay? I tell you, Golden State loves Caitlin Chen. They love her. They absolutely love her. Guys, we also saw some minutes for Bree Hall. Shout out to Bree Hall. She also made her debut yesterday. She played in 3 minutes, got 3 points, made a 3-point shot. I'm sorry, she didn't make a 3-point shot. She made a basket, and then she made a free throw. There we go. I should say that. So she had 3 points in that one. Ariel Powers ended up getting a couple minutes as well. She's a new signee to this Golden State Valkyries team, and guys, this squad with so many players out. So Susanna Lissini is out. Janelle Salon is out. Timmy Fag-Benley is out. Julie Van Loo is out. Right? They're all in Europe right now, and we were able to just see different players come through for this team and make an impact. I mean, of course, Kayla Thornton has been on the tear recently. On a tear. 21 points for her. So that was really good. Tiffany Hayes did her thing as well, and Veronica Burton, same thing. But it was the bench that was making it happen. It was Letitia Amy here. It was Chloe Bibby, who is fun to watch. I'm just saying. I am just saying. I mean, yes, the crowd was cheering for everybody, but it really felt like it was more of a cheer for Caitlin Chen. Right? Right? Anyway. That's the stream, guys. That is the stream. Again, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Also, if you are listening on via the podcast, via the Quita in the Morning podcast, make sure to hit that rate button. Give this podcast a 5-star rating. I don't really have very many people watching or listening on the podcast, so spread the word about the podcast. That really would help a whole lot. Okay. Let's see. Carmela says the Valkyries are who I thought they would be, and I'm happy to see it. Well, hey, you called it, Carmela. I didn't see it, Carmela, at all. But you saw it, so shout out to you, man. Shout out to all the people who called the Golden State Valkyries being as good as they are. They're great. I didn't expect it, but I tell you this, I'm happy to see it. All right, guys, with that being said, that is the stream. Again, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. And subscribe to the channel. This has been Quita in the Morning. My name is Quita. We are in the mornings. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a good one. If no one has told you, you matter. Let me tell you. You matter. You are important and you are happy. And I'm happy that you are on this earth, guys. I love you. And I will see y'all in the next one. See y'all tomorrow. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. Nope. Well, random viewership. In broadcast. Here we go.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.